Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa and I appreciate you being here. I am here because I like to share stories about things that I'm dealing with and going through, because I feel like it could help me in the future when I'm having a moment of doubt or moments of doubt, and to kind of like pick myself back up a little bit again. And for others who might be struggling with mental health and need support, I wanted to share some things that I am dealing with. I posted a video last week about some things that I was learning, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and what I am like dealing with and what I'm going through. I will still keep some things vague because there's certain things that I would still like to keep private in my personal life, but I also do want to share and be a little bit more open about what I am involved in, so that hopefully it can help others too. What I'm doing is a mental health outpatient program local to me, and it's a partial hospital program where I attend classes from 9 to 3:30 each day, and within that 9 to 3:30 time frame we attend different psychoeducation classes, and then we also have in small group therapies as well. So in today's video I wanted to give a recap of this week because it was my first full week in the program, and again, without diving into details about what I went through to be here, I do want to just say that there's people struggling. You never know what somebody's going through. Don't judge other people for their problems or their situations, because everyone deals with things differently, and you should not discount your own pain, and you should not discount other people's pain either. Just worry about yourselves, and care for yourselves, care about yourselves. So I thought it was really cool to kind of go through the schedule of last week, so I'm going to do that again for this week. And I do also feel like it would be really interesting to maybe do some videos on some of the individual topics, because I thought they were really helpful and insightful, and instead of just having the reading material, I feel like it would be helpful for me to talk about it, so that again I have that for future reference and for anyone else who might find it helpful. So on Monday, we started our day with a class on assertive communication, which was really neat because we learned how to be assertive when we're talking to others, instead of coming off accusatory or any other type of way, and how to be confident and assertive when you speak to others. I thought that was a really interesting class because a lot of times I thought I was being assertive, but I was probably being angry. So this is teaching me the difference between the two. Then we have our group sessions, and after that we had a restorative yoga practice as well as a guided meditation, and that was really great. We did have then we had a restorative yoga practice and a guided meditation after that in the afternoon after lunch. And then we had a session on sleep, which sounds silly, but I feel like sleep hygiene gets forgotten about, and we a lot of times know what the right things to do are, but we don't follow them because of comfort, and it's hard to break old habits. So on Tuesday, we started the day with a class on Self-Esteem Masks, which was such a great class. We learned about the different ways of masking. After our small groups, we had a class on gratitude and then on social supports. Unfortunately, I didn't get to experience those last two courses on Tuesday because I did something called MRT, which stands for Memory Reconsolidation Therapy. The way that they explained it is memories are stored in your brain as something. So he calls it yellow jello or a jello. And then you update it with something new in your brain as he kind of walks you through this exercise where he uses methods of visualization and sound to have you remember these certain events in your life and to kind of reframe them. Like it kind of heals that memory, that core memory, and makes it neutral, so that when you think of it again in the future after the therapy is done, you won't have negative emotions tied to that memory. And that was probably one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had. I think that I liked it in comparison to EMDR. It was definitely very different. And I think I liked it more than EMDR only because I feel like EMDR does kind of re-traumatize you in the moment. At least it does for me, because I feel so deeply. I feel so deeply that when I am doing EMDR, it feels like I regress to that moment in time that I experienced within that memory, and it makes processing that memory really, really hard. Whereas MRT was not making me think of the specific memory, but of how I felt when that memory happened. I don't know if I'm doing a great way of explaining it, but obviously feel free to do your own research on this or ask your therapist about it, but that's just my experience with it, and I really liked it. And it was like a one and done session. I don't think that it's something that I get to do more while I'm in this program, I don't even think it's something that they recommend to do more than once. But it was a really interesting experience, and I recommend it if it's something that you're wondering about or want to look into. On Wednesday, we did a class called Neuroscience of Trauma. So we learned about how trauma is stored in our brain and our body, and how we get sick from it, and all these other symptoms that it can create in your body unknowingly. Then we had our group sessions, and after that we had another yoga session. We had mindfulness, and that was a chair yoga class. I much more prefer the floor yoga classes. The chair yoga was okay. There was still some floor involved in it, but I like the regular yoga classes better. But it was still nice to practice mindfulness and being present in the moment and in the now, because that's the one thing I struggle with most at the moment. So I really enjoyed that class. And at the end of the day on Wednesday, we had a dialectical behavioral therapy class called Crisis Survival Skills. So it was about distress tolerance, and that was only part one. There'll be others to come, I'm sure, but it was definitely an interesting class too, and I wouldn't mind doing a video separate on that as well. How to act and resist crisis urges. On Thursday, we learned about how to set healthy boundaries with others. And then after our group sessions, we learned about the different stages of behavioral change, which was the last two classes from yesterday were my favorite. The stages of behavioral change. We watched a video from, I believe his name was BJ Fogg, but he was the author of Tiny Habits, and we watched one of his TED Talks, and it was really interesting. And we also learned about love languages yesterday, which I'm sure most of you may be aware already of what they are, but it was a really interesting class because I certainly thought I was a certain love language. It turns out it was not what I thought at all. So it was a nice surprise. I liked it. And also, whatever results I got from the class doesn't mean it's like a one and done, with different people and different situation, and even different times of day, different times of the month. You could be wanting to receive or give love in a different way, and that's okay. We all change. Today is Friday, and we had a craft. We always have a expressive therapy class on Friday mornings, and today we did an affirmation board. I want to show you mine because I like it, but also because I feel like I'm going to add more to it at some point, and I just want to show you the progress that it is so far. It's so cute. And that was probably one of my favorite crafts that we've done, or actually it's only the second one, the only second expressive therapy class that I've had, but it has been my favorite so far because I love making collages, and I haven't made one in many years, probably since college or high school. So that was really fun. Then we had our group today, and I was sad to see one of my favorite people go today. Not sad, I'm happy for her, obviously, but it was a hard moment because she has been very vulnerable and great at sharing her story with us, and very strong. And I'll miss her energy around us. So good luck to you, girl. Then we had a class on screen time and digital dependence, which, goodness gracious, we should all have a class on that in schools, right? Like, let's implement that class in real life. All of these, let's implement all of these classes in real life, like for kids in schools. How about that? Good thing our elementary schools are starting it already. Like, they're implementing little lessons along the way. How about middle school and high school? Can we create courses for kids to learn emotional intelligence? Because some kids are just not taught it at home. Not because their parents don't want to, simply because their parents don't have the capacity to teach them. Because they don't know any better, or they don't have the time, or they're too stressed. Everything falls on them. Can we please do something for these kids of the future? And then the last class of the day on Fridays is just a weekend review, and it's like a game day. And I skipped out to do this today, so yeah. Like I said, I do plan on doing maybe recap videos of some of the courses that I took, because I feel like they would be helpful reminders for myself. It would be nicer to have a video to reference than materials to read, because let's get real, my attention span is not that great, and I'd rather just read it once on camera and then not do it again. And then I can listen to it, because I feel like I learn better that way anyway. I just want to thank you for being here, not just watching this video, but being here, like, on this earth. You matter, and you are so special. Even if you don't hear that enough, we're all special. We all have something unique about us, and we all deserve to be here. And if you ever need a reminder, just come back to here and, play this part to remind yourself that you do matter, you have a purpose, and you are loved. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!